Hello, Carl Beane.
Yeah.
This is Jimmy Young, live from the worldwide headquarters of Young Broadcasters of America. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine, too. And you and I had a brief conversation yesterday, and I just want to have an opportunity to talk with you, who, of course, is the voice of Fenway Park, the public address announcer. And public address announcing is indeed one of my lessons in the course that we have online called Sportscasters in Training. And Carl, you and I talked a little bit about the most basic question: is a public address announcer a sportscaster? Your answer?
We are reporters. So says Bob Shepard, who is the ultimate authority on all matters of public address.
And why don't you enlighten the audience, just in case they're under the age of 16 and they may not remember the legendary voice of the Yankee Stadium, the Yankee Stadium.
Bob Shepard was the public address announcer for the New York Yankees from 1951 to 2008, I'm sorry. And was also the public address announcer for the New York Football Giants from 1953 or 4 until about 6-7 years ago. And besides being a public address announcer, and he did it for 57 years at Yankee Stadium, by the way, he also was a speech teacher at St. John's University in New York. So not only was he very good at public address and how to do it and how to do it correctly, but he also taught speech. So things like diction and grammar were things that were very important, pronunciation, making sure things are correct. Those are the things that he pushed. And anyone who was in his presence, you learned from him, and he and I were very close friends for many years, and he taught me an awful lot about how to do this.
And as it might happen, I have a 27-second YouTube clip of Mr. Bob Shepard introducing one of the great Yankees of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our next batter, we turn to the voice of legendary New York Yankee public address announcer Bob Shepard, who passed away this weekend at the age of 99.
Now batting from the American League, from the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
So, Carl, what did you learn from a classic old-school public address announcer like Bob Shepard, as you've now, I believe, held this job, at least under the new regime, for 10 years?
For me, yeah. This is my 10th year.
Hey, not bad off the top of my head, huh?
That was that was very good.
That was a guess, I'll admit it.
Yeah. Bob had his credo, in fact, on his plaque at Yankee Stadium, there were 3 C's that he believed were the fundamentals of good public address announcing. One is to be clear, concise, and correct. The 3 C's that you are not to be is a clown, a carnival barker, or a comic.
Aha.
And I couldn't agree more.
Now that's very interesting because, as you know, the public address announcer in certain sports, and I'm going to point the finger directly at the NBA here, become part of the show. Sport, as you know, has turned into big-time entertainment, and it is more than just the game now. I'm guessing with your background and your influence from Bob Shepard, you probably don't like the guys that you hear in the NBA carrying on and becoming part of the show.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I understand that's what the NBA wants you to do, so they pretty much don't have any choice. That all began with the Chicago Bulls announcer, who decided to inject himself in these huge, elaborate, dig me introductions when the player for the starting lineup. And most all of them do it now. That's kind of the thing. The only exception that I know of that doesn't do that, and his first name is Bob, I believe. I don't know his last name. The announcer for the Lakers, and he's been the PA announcer for many, many years. He does not do that stuff. But most, all of the other ones do. And again, it's pretty much what the league wants. So it's done. And baseball, many of them do the same thing in baseball. But then again, they're dealing with newer ballparks. You get some places like Dodger Stadium, Wrigley Field, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, the older ballparks. It would sound to me silly to be yelling and screaming like a modern-day PA announcer when you're in a ballpark, in my case, that is 100 years old. It's a throwback ballpark, so it is done in that style. Besides, the most famous public address announcer in Fenway Park history was Sherm Feller, who did it for 26 years. And he was not a yeller or a screamer. He just did it and got out of the way. And that's how I do it. I pattern much of what I do after him because it was right. It was right for the ballpark, and that's what the fans like. Well, when they had a couple of people who did it after Sherm passed away, they were a little more exuberant, and the fans were not happy. If I'm popular, and I don't know what I am, just do what I do. But if I am that, if I've made a name for myself, it is because I do it the old-fashioned way, because that's the way I believe. And I'll tell you something else, Jimmy. When I visit with the radio guys, and many times I do to get pronunciations, they say, "Oh my goodness, it's so nice to hear a real PA announcer and a guy who isn't obsessed with big me and drawing attention to himself." That's the ballpark. It's the team. It's the game. It's not me.
That's great. That's a great comment. And Carl, I can tell you, I'll tell you who you are. You're a very classy gentleman that I've known for many years, and I have always appreciated your humor and your professionalism. And that's really, those are the words, class and professionalism. So if you ever are looking for that identity, that's what you are, Carl.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Tell me a little bit about the importance of elongating certain names. I mean, you're playing directly to the public, looking to get an impulsive reaction from a mob of people. Is that a skill that you just developed? Again, you patterned yourself after Sherm Feller. I think a lot of times in broadcasting, people who come up with this, they do feel like they are being Bob Lobel on the air, or they're Marv Albert, or they're Vin Scully. And I know you said Sherm was your role model, but there are certain things that you do that you elongate, like stretch for the seventh inning.
I do that just to give the fans a little bit of a chance to get up and do it. But for the most part, at Fenway Park, they're intelligent fans. They know when to cheer. They know when to boo. They're into the game, so it's not necessary. Fenway Park is one of the few places where you don't see animated hand claps. You don't hear dun, 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 all that stuff with the organ trying to get fans into the game. They know what to do. They're very much into the game. So it's announce the names, shut up and get out of the way, and let them enjoy the game. The only thing that I have done, just to make it a little different, is I try to pronounce the Hispanic names the way they would be done in their own country, by rolling the R's. Instead of Ortiz, it's Ortiz. It's Rodriguez. I do that to honor their heritage and nothing more. And the players seem to like it. No one's ever told me to stop, so I guess they're comfortable with it. They're cool with it. But other than that, I just play it straight.
I think that's the most professional and also a very old school way of doing things. And we do show young people both the old school way and the new school way. And of course, being a little bit older, I do kind of tend to go that way. I recognize how things have changed, however. And, you know, it's funny, you mentioned Bob Shepard's 3 C's. Well, we've created a curriculum here called IPIE, I-P-I-E. And I believe that if you master inflection, pronunciation, intonation, and enunciation, you have become a much better communicator. And those are the 4 skills that broadcasters use on a regular basis. What's your reaction to that?
That is exactly what you need to do. First of all, if you're going to be a public speaker, you have to have the right tools. And the first tool you need is a command of the English language. You are speaking. I speak to 3 million people a year. That's just in the ballpark. Who knows who hears me outside the ballpark? Who knows how many occasionally might hear me on in the background on the radio or on television? So there are a lot of people who hear what I say. So it's important that it's correct. Make sure the names are correct. Make sure that you reflect the moment. You can tell very quickly by the buzz in the air what kind of mood that the crowd is in. For the most part at Fenway, they're into the game. Again, it's not necessary. But you get some ballparks, for example, Tampa Bay or Arizona, places like that, where they're really not into the game. They may not be all that knowledgeable baseball fans, and they need a little push. So therefore, it's done. In the NBA, they're trying to create all this big buzz with all that, and again, it's that push. You have to know your crowd. You can read the crowd, and you can get a sense. I mean, I could be blindfolded and led to my seat and sat down, and just by hearing the buzz, I know they're playing the Yankees. I know they're playing the Angels. You can just tell by the buzz in the air. And I don't try to overindulge or yell over the fans if it's, say, the 7th inning, bases loaded and Ortiz is coming to the plate. I don't need to yell when I introduce him. People, they hear number 34, they're into it. That's all I have to do. There are times I could just say the number, and they already start cheering. And lots of times they start cheering before the hitter even gets to the plate. Again, I'm to enhance, not to overpower. That's how I feel.
I love it. Let the game be the story. You're there to just make it a little bit more pleasurable experience and provide some information to the crowd.
That's it. No one comes to hear me, and they shouldn't. They come for the entire Fenway experience. They come to see the green monster, the green grass, the dirt, the ice cream white uniforms of the Boston Red Sox, the gray uniforms of the visiting team, the pitching performances, the hitting performances, and all that goes with the smell of hot dogs and all that. That's what it's there for. I'm just there to make them feel comfortable, to welcome them in, and to provide information as the game goes along.
Now, that's terrific.